So you hang out with your friends, right? This guy knows. I can see it in your face. You hang out with your friends, those guys that are standing right next to you right now, and you sit around a table and you drink and you bitch about the authority above you. You complain about your boss because it's not your fault. Yeah, those same loser friends you hung out with in high school that live on the same hope you do.
Well. You know, ironically, just before Triple H directed his words to me and my loser friends, a.k.a. Mark Aboli and Rob Rossi of the Trib, just before, we were laughing, saying how great of a promo this was, and it really was a great promo. It was the long-winded version of one of my favorite Vince McMahon promos in the 90s when he said, quote, "Life sucks, and then you die." That's essentially what Triple H was saying to me, which I thought was great. Good promo, good match between he and Dolph Ziggler. A big moment to see Triple H have a match on Raw. Not something you see anymore at all. Roman Reigns comes back. It was the exact reaction I expected in Pittsburgh. The ladies and the younger audience mostly for him, more the older audience against him. It was during this eruption of a reaction, though, which a reaction... Look, at least he gets one, and he gets one of the loudest reactions of anybody, and that's always a winning formula. Look at John Cena, loudest reaction for how many years? Good, love him or hate him. Rob Rossi and I are shaking our heads, though, as we're watching him come out, and we're hearing this reaction, and we're shaking our heads in laughter because the guy has done nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong except to a portion of the audience who just does not like him because he's bigger, or he wrestles slower, or because they know he's handpicked by WWE, or because they'd rather, X, Y, and Z to have his spot. So there's this natural revolt. But nonetheless, a great fight broke out here between Reigns and Triple H. Definitely was needed to re-energize this feud, this title match for WrestleMania, being that Reigns has been off TV for several weeks. The reaction at Mania is going to be much of the same. It's going to be a split crowd. The boos are going to try to outweigh the cheers for Roman Reigns, and that's going to be the case of when Roman Reigns is standing there holding the title after he beats Triple H, which at this point in time, I still think is what's going to happen. But there was an appreciation from the audience. I wish you could have experienced it if you weren't there live. After these guys fall to the backstage and they cut to commercial and the screen goes black there in the Consol Energy Center last night, a huge standing ovation was given from the Pittsburgh crowd, appreciating how intense and entertaining that fight was. People appreciate Roman Reigns. I know they do deep down. They just like going against the grain. They want to be heard. They feel like they're going to change something. A la Daniel Bryan. WrestleMania is going to be the same type of reaction. But here's the reality. WWE is going to keep Roman Reigns babyface. They are not going to turn him heel. We can argue if that's the right decision or not, but they're going to keep him a babyface because he's a babyface doing what they want him to do. He's a babyface doing media, selling merch, being a superhero to kids, being adored by women. And to WWE, they don't care if that other portion, which might be you, is booing Roman Reigns. They don't care because to them it's like, sure, go ahead and boo Reigns. He's still satisfying the role that we need him to satisfy. And again, as long as you're given a reaction, that's all that matters. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be best for the long term. You'd think you want to have a solid babyface that everybody can get behind. But then again, we rarely get that. We've talked about that. Daniel Bryan was a rarity. Even Dean Ambrose. But unfortunately, WWE is not a wrestling company. They are this giant entertainment company. And to some extent, Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose never have been the image, again, rightly or wrongly, of what WWE wants. All I know is they're going to stick with Reigns as a babyface. WrestleMania is going to be very interesting, but what matters to them is that Roman Reigns gets a reaction, and Roman Reigns is still going to be that guy who is going to be the face of their company, and they are trying everything they can. And Triple H is the perfect guy. They are trying everything they can to win over as many people as possible on that babyface side. In the meantime, me and my loser friends, we'll just sit back, drink a beer, and we'll keep on bitching.